Here I am working on the LT40 Super hydraulic Woodmizer. It's the most misspelled word on the internet. Every time you put that Woodmizer in, your spell check will change it to wood mixer. Here's what we got going. I've never changed this on this one before, but this bearing in here, the wheel got to where it wouldn't hardly turn with no belt on it. And so that bearing in there has knocked part of the seal out of it. And I don't know if it's on the back or on the front. Doesn't really matter. I have to change it, so I called and got a new bearing. And this is what the bearing looks like. Nope, that's not it. This is what the bearing looks like that's in that dude. Big old heavy bearing. Shipping was probably about as much as the bearing. So I'm gonna see if I can get that off. I'll see if I can do it without taking the blade plumb off. Probably can, but I'll probably cut myself all up because somehow everything had to be in the way. Take this, and then I got the fan on, so it's gonna dry all that, or blow all that dry dust everywhere. Take that loose. Maybe I can just do it like that. I don't know. This is what we're gonna try for, though. I've already got the bolt. It's an Allen head bolt loose from that. The other ones, the bearings, they're down in that hole there, and they've been so loose that they would just slide right off without much effort. Well, you want to bet this one don't work that way. So let's see how I get along. Needs a bend to it, or else I can't get to where it needs to be going to. I think it's moving though. Oh yeah, it's coming off. It's gonna come off from there real nice. Not as easy as the others have, but it's gonna come right off from there. A little hitting on my hand, I'm sure. Anybody else do that when they're having to use a punch? When you hit yourself on the hand about as much as you do the punch? Especially when trying to hit a target that rolls a little. Crash. I don't mind it falling off of there as long as it come loose, right? And then this is what we got. Snap ring. You can see the ends of it right there. Let's see if I can get that loose. I thought I just dropped a tool. I don't know how much of this y'all can see from over there. Nothing when my camera falls over, huh? I got the fan on if you're wondering what the extra noise is. Oh, can you believe that? Of course, I would expect this one wouldn't be as bad as that other one. The first mill that I got, the guy that had it before me, or not the guy that had it before me, but the original owner on it had a business where he bought hides and salted them, and he salted them dang hides in the same building he was running that sawmill in. And so anytime I had a mechanical issue, the first thing you do is break the bolts off, and the next thing you do is go get the drill, because you just wasn't going to get no No satisfaction. My snap ring pliers ain't big enough. So we'll try my herd of screwdrivers. See how we get along. Some needle nose pliers here that I can start off by scratching my hide all off from the weight probably. If I can ever get started with a screwdriver behind that, I'll be able to get somewhere. Hold down and hold forward, all that at the same time is much more difficult than it looks. This bearing on the other mill, if I remember right, is not one bearing, it's two little thin bearings. So it was something more that I could get ordered through my local auto parts store. There we go. Got it going our way a little bit now. I can just get it to get out of there without blowing all the way across the building. At which time, if it does blow all the way across the building, we get to go to the house because I don't have another one. Let's see if I can't drive that thing around just a little bit. I think it may move some, maybe. Get it loosened up to where it come on out of that notch better. Or now I probably got it to where it won't come out of that notch at all. Get it out enough. Try that one more time. Oh, it did then. Out a whole bunch. My second screwdriver's not small enough. Get down in that notch very good. You probably can't see what I'm doing at all. I have to use these screwdrivers to get that snap ring up out of there because my snap ring pliers won't open up wide enough. I think I got another pair of them up there, but I think the others that I have are opposite direction type of a thing. They hold it the other way instead of this way. Sorry I don't have a little better way to help you look at that, but what I gotta do is pry that out of there the rest of the way on around there. You get about halfway and it'll pop out, and then that's when it usually goes flying, and people say other words that they won't repeat in public. But it's coming loose pretty easy now. There we go. It just popped all out of there. See, there's the snap ring. Now I got to get that. I may have messed that up a little bit with my. I guess we'll see in just a second. As I suspected it may need a little PB blaster. Who knows what else. So, I'm going to cut you off for a minute. I may just take this whole wheel up to the shop and work on it up there. So, I got the snap ring out. That's the snap ring. That's what it looks like with the snap ring out. And you can see I boogered it up a little bit here and there. I'm going to take it up to the shop, file on it a little bit, put some PB on it, and see if I can't make it all better. And then we'll bring you back before I put the other one in. Well, I'm back. Got that bearing out, got the new one put in there. A little trick, you need to have it laying on something solid, and this metal table is really not as solid as it needs to be. So I laid it down on a big old chunk of wood, like a piece of a 10 by 10 railroad tie would do. And I just drove it out from the middle. You can hit on this, and it brought the rest of it. I put a little PB blaster on it, lubed it up a little bit with some penetrating oil, and it came right out. I didn't even grind the little spots down I'd roughed up on that other snap ring out there. But when I went to putting it back in, it's a little more ticky because you don't want to mess it up putting it in. And so I just tapped on it on around the edges until it got flat with this right here. As you can see, that's recessed in there, so the snap ring goes down in here. But then you can lay the other bearing, the old bearing, on it and tap on it and drive it down in there. And you got to have it in there all the way or the snap ring won't go. And so we're going to see. I think I had it all in there. So we're going to see here if I actually had it all in there or if that was just wishful thinking. And I suppose y'all can't see a thing from there, so that's right where I'm going to put you. Probably just hear the background noise, maybe. See my forehead. I don't know what you can see from there. Make sure I got this back in there the same way it was in there before. I wish these pliers would get that wide. By golly, they won't. They wouldn't let go of it. So this is just going to be one of those difficult things. You know, Dad's always telling me if it's easy, everybody do it. So I just figure it's something that not everybody would do. Go on with it. That is a stiff snap ring now. Big old heavy thing. Wonder if my hammer would work on that. I'm just fixing to find out maybe. Any of y'all that's ever going to know or ever change tires know what I'm talking about. This is kind of like changing tires. You get your power tool in there too far, it's not going to leave enough room for it to get on where it's got to go. Afraid to take my hand off from it. I'm afraid it's going to go boing, hit me in the nuts or something. But it didn't, and it went right in there. Got the snap ring in. Right there. Bare hands, big hammer, and a sharp flat screwdriver. And we got to get this thing back on the other side, and you got to make sure you do it right. The snap ring goes to the back. If you don't get the snap ring on the back, your alignment will be wrong. So I got him started. And I needed my hammer, my trusty big hammer. This is going to take both hands, so y'all going to have to sit right there a minute again. Probably knock you over. Just going to take what I got left of both hands. Don't want to hit on the flywheel. Hit on the bearing, hit on the flywheel, it won't work. Now, I did check out other bearing out when I got it out of there, and it was working good. You could turn this flywheel and it sounded good, but I knew the seals was out of it because it got to where it almost stopped, and then we was having some trouble off and on with it, throwing the band off, but I couldn't get any slack out of it. We changed our wheel belts, and that made all the difference. Maybe I ought to show you this. When you spin it, it should, when you spin it around by hand, it should coast. That's how they do when they're in good shape. And that one there is, with the old bearing in it here, as quick as it left the end of your finger, it just stopped. And so what we had done to get by until I got another bearing, let's see, you can see it on this side, we stuck a screwdriver in there and pried up on that seal in one spot and sprayed spray lube in it and spun it and sprayed spray lube in it and got it to going again. And I went and ordered another one. Some of them big bearings like that are more expensive at other places than they are at Woodmizer. So if you can, you're better off to get them Woodmizer, not just because they're original equipment, but because it is what it is. That's what my wife's saying about all my sawmilling adventures. I think I'm just going to leave that just like that. Scott can fix it when he comes in on Monday, if he gets here on Monday. But that's that should fix up that problem. And so if you're having trouble with your blade falling off, and now there's times when your blade will fall off that it ain't the fault of something here that I just worked on. There's times when your blade falls off that it'll be the blade's fault. I have had blades get beat up enough while we're using them that they won't stay on the wheels, hit metal with them, have a board flip up out of the drag back and hit it. That can sure do it. You'll have times when you'll run out to the end of a big log. We saw from the small end to the big end, and you get down there at the big end and your blade's too dull to cut through it, and it'll do something wonky on the big end, and the end of it will catch the blade or something and flip it off from there. I can't tell you how many times I've been coming back. I haven't run this mill very much. I run the old one. But I'd be coming back and have the blade shut off and a little stick flip up there and hit that and knock your blade off. And once the blade's been knocked off, it's subject to coming off again. And so that's the deal. I wonder what the heck that bolt's for. Looks like one might be out of the drag back or something. You didn't tell me nothing about that. Anyway, that's how you fix the outside bearing on an LT40. This one's a super. I don't think the deal's any different on this one than it is on the regular, just LT40s. And I know that the bearing has a little bit different size on the older mills that are LT40s, but the process is the same. You just got to get that bearing out of there and put in a new one. And so that's how you do it. Thanks for watching.